And Jesus went into a mountain, and there he sat with his disciples. After he sat with his disciples, and before it says he lifted up his eyes and saw a company, I'm going to say his disciples came to him and said, "Send the multitude away." Matthew says, when it was evening, his disciples came to him saying, "This is a desert place, the time is now past." So, and when it was evening. Mark says, and when the day was now far spent. I think I can put those together. I could say when from both, and when it was evening, and the day was now far spent. Luke, however, I don't know how I could put this in. It says, and when the day began to wear away. Yeah, I can see how that would make sense. Far spent. But began to wear away? You could say the day begins to wear away in the morning, because eventually it's going to totally wear away at night. So I think I'm just going to choose evening and far spent. Instead of wear away. I don't think I could put all three of those together into one verse. So, and when it was evening. And then I have to say, and the day. So when is from both Matthew and Mark and Luke. When is all three. And the day was far spent. His disciples came to him. His disciples came to him. Then came the 12. Actually, the day is also in Luke. So I can say the day is both Mark and Luke. So that would be dark yellow. Began to wear away. Yeah, none of those words are here. Then came the 12. His disciples came to him. His disciples came to him. Luke. Then came the 12. Luke says not only when the day began to wear away, he also puts then, not just his disciples. Should I put then his disciples came, or just his disciples came? I'll put then just because it's there in Luke. I might have gone without it, but it's there. So instead of just the 12, more descriptive, his disciples. Or actually I could say his 12 disciples. So his is both Matthew and Mark. 12 is from Luke. You know, his disciples are already mentioned in John at the beginning of this paragraph. And Jesus went up into a mountain, and there he sat with his disciples. I think it would be annoying to have it twice. And there he sat with his disciples, and when it was evening, the day was now far spent. Then his 12 disciples, again. No, that's not necessary. I think I'm just going to combine his disciples with John. You know, actually, I think I'm going to put 12 into the verse with John. That way, the most description is at the beginning, when you're setting up the scene. But then, when you read it again, it can be summarized as just his disciples instead of his 12 disciples. So now it would read, and Jesus went up into a mountain, and there he sat with his 12 disciples. And when it was evening, and the day was now far spent, then his disciples came to him. Yeah. I wouldn't want it to be more descriptive the second time, because then that would make it seem as if the group, his 12 disciples, is different from the first group, his disciples. Maybe it would lead it to believe that there were more people, like when he had his disciples, including the women and all those people who were not part of the 12, maybe some of them were there. But it's explained earlier, he took them aside. The apostles, when they were returned, Jesus took them aside, went privately. So it's still just the 12 that he's trying to get away with. Yeah, so I want the most description to be at the beginning of the scene, not in the middle.